Hey friend, have you ever wondered what causes social anxiety and why does it feel so intense? I'm Josh Spurlock, a licensed Christian counselor, here to answer your questions about faith and mental health. Let's dive in. So, we were designed by God to need other people, to live in community, and to experience closeness and connection that brings a sense of safety and security and a feeling of being loved and accepted. And we need those experiences in order to grow and be healthy and mature into the person that God created us to be. And so our brain is wired to need connections with other people and to need relationships. And the lack of connection with folks it's a threat. It's not good for us. It's bad. And our brain knows that. And so social anxiety is the result of our brain kind of desiring and needing connection with people and a fear of rejection, abandonment, not having what it is that we need in connection. So, a certain level of social anxiety is normal for everybody to experience because we all need those connections with people. And so, we all want to be accepted. We all want to have meaningful connection with others. And when in new contexts, where that acceptance isn't for certain, there's a level of angst that we can feel. But as we engage and we have friendly, positive responses from others, that kind of relaxes inside of us. And so we can come into a new situation, meet new people, maybe feel a little bit of angst on the front end of that. What if they don't like me? What if we don't click? What if we don't have connection? What if they don't accept me then? But then as we experience connection and acceptance and, we get positive signals from their face back towards us, then our nervous system is able to relax and we're able to just, form new friendships and make new relationships and navigate the work situation dynamic. But if our experiences of life have taught us that we're going to likely experience rejection or that we can't count on people to be there for us, say what in the counseling and mental health world, we talk about insecure attachment. That is, our early experiences taught us that we couldn't reliably expect that we would be received and that we would be responded positively. And so we come with those wounds. We come with an expectation that it is not going to go well. And that expectation or prediction creates fear and it creates angst, oftentimes such that it sabotages interactions and causes us to even interpret neutral kinds of responses from folks as negative responses from them because of the expectation that we bring to the situation, which becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, which causes us to have more fear and angst and amplifies that fear response when coming into social situations. And that anxiety response, the stronger it gets, that fear response, the stronger it gets, the more intense the physical symptoms are. And so the tightness in the chest or in our stomach or a lump in our throat, sweaty palms, and the racing heart, racing thoughts, these are all actually features, not flaws in the system. That's our body preparing for a threat and to respond to a threat. The issue is that the threat is not one that can be solved through, our muscles or legs and running from a situation or tackling somebody. And so the way our body's equipping us for threat isn't all that useful in the situation. It actually sabotages instead of helping us navigate it well. But our body's trying to be helpful with the anxiety response that's there from a very real danger of isolation. That our body knows that it's not good if we're isolated, that it's not good for man to be alone, the Bible says, that God designed us for relational connection. So there's a real concern and a real threat that our body's trying to warn us about. And if our experiences of life in attachment or connection are such that they cause us to predict that we're going to have difficulty connecting or not be accepted, then that alarm sounds even louder. And instead of just the normal angst that everybody experiences in new situations or contexts, we feel more extreme kind of response because the threat is bigger. And if we've experienced negative responses, it's compounded even more by the memory of those experiences. And that's how this loop begins to form, where it becomes more and more intense and we become more and more anxious about experiences. So it doesn't have to be that way. There's a hopeful pathway towards unwinding the experiences that fuel that loop, but it doesn't happen on its own, that we actually have to engage some intentional interventions that help break the loop and install in us a different kind of expectation. So now you know you were fearfully and wonderfully made, and the way in which you experience some of these situations feels really terrible. God has also designed a pathway for you to experience healing and for things to be different. And I hope that you'll chase after that. Thanks for hanging out with me, watching this video. If you've got questions, leave them in the comments. We'll make some more videos. And until next time, I want you to know that I'm praying for you and that I'm cheering you on as you mature into true happiness.